Hey, what's up guys? Jason Julius here. And if you want to give your woman the best orgasms of her life, then mastering oral techniques is a must. Yet most guys learn how to perform oral sex from exactly the wrong place, porn. And look, I get it. I did it too for a bit, but there's a massive problem with that. In the industry, they actually have a term for oral sex scenes called painting the fence. Basically, the guy has to keep his head way back so the camera can see the action. And because he can't really get in and do it properly, like we're going to talk about in this video, all he can do is flick his tongue at her like a hummingbird so the camera can get the shot. Now, you might be thinking that he's doing a great job because it looks good on camera, but in real life, that rapid fire flicking motion is usually annoying, and honestly, sometimes it's very painful. You have to remember, the clitoris has something like 8,000 nerve endings packed into that tiny little space. That's all the nerve endings of your entire penis shrunk down into that little nub. And it is the most sensitive spot on her entire body. So when you dive right in and start hammering away at it like you're trying to ring a doorbell, you aren't turning her on, you're actually overwhelming her nervous system. You're numbing her out. If you want to be the man who makes her shake, you have to stop trying to be a fast flicker and start being an elevated lover. So in this video, I'm going to teach you a specific 3-step protocol that fixes this completely. I'm going to show you the clock method to build massive anticipation before you even ever touch the clitoris. I'm going to teach you the apple technique, which is a specific way to use your mouth that creates suction instead of friction. And I'm going to show you the vibration hack that doubles the sensation without you doing any extra work. But I have to warn you, you can learn all 3 of these moves in this video. You can get the mechanics 100% perfect, but if your energy is off, it still won't work. If you're down there checking your watch, waiting for her to finish so you can get to intercourse, she's going to feel that pressure. And as I always say, pressure kills pleasure. So stick with me. We're going to dial in the technique first, but do not skip to the end of this video because we need to fix how you move her mentally and energetically just as much as your mechanics. So let's get into it. So how do we give her an oral experience that feels incredible? We use a 3-step protocol that moves from anticipation to direct stimulation without ever overwhelming her. Step 1 is the warm-up. I call this the clock method. Before you ever even touch her clitoris directly, you need to wake up the neighborhood. You need to get the blood flowing to the entire area first. Never go right in for the sensitive spots. You want to get her body and mind fully engaged. Now imagine a clock face is overlaid on her genitals. The clitoris is in the center of the clock. Now most guys go straight in for the center. Do not do that yet. I want you to lick the numbers around it, starting at 12 o'clock, right above the clitoral hood. Stay there for a bit, and then make your way down slowly to 3 o'clock, then slowly down to 6 o'clock, right at the vaginal opening. Tease the opening with your tongue, and then move over to 9 o'clock. And here's the key, slow down your tongue. Most guys have a hummingbird tongue. It's pointy and stiff and fast. I want you to have a cow's tongue. Make it broad and soft and flat. When you use a broad tongue to circle the perimeter, you're stimulating the internal legs of the clitoris, the internal branches of nerves that you can't see, without, shocking the sensitive nerve endings of the tip of her clitoris. And you're engaging her mind and pulling her into the moment. You're letting her body know that something is coming, which builds massive anticipation. Now, once she's squirming a little, once she's like lifting her hips to meet you, that's your signal. Now and only now do we move to step 2, the apple technique. This is how you stimulate the clitoris directly without the annoying flicking motion. The best way to describe this is to imagine you're biting into a big juicy apple. And when you bite into an apple, your lips naturally curl inward to cover your teeth, right? You create a seal. And then imagine that a drop of that juice is about to drip down the side and you use your tongue to catch it and pull it into your mouth like, That is the shape you want your mouth and tongue. Now you place your mouth like that over her clitoris with your lips curled in to cover your teeth. This creates a seal, a vacuum. Instead of flicking your tongue at her clitoris, you're going to gently suck on it. It creates a suction sensation that pulls blood into the area rather than a friction sensation that rubs it raw. Think of it like you're trying to gently drink through a straw. It's consistent, it's rhythmic, and because your teeth are covered, you can apply way more pressure without it ever hurting. Okay, do that for a little while. Now you have the suction locked in. She's loving it, but you want to take it to the next level. And that brings us to step 3, the vibration hack. You can actually turn your mouth into a vibrator instantly without ever changing your position. All you have to do is hum. While you have that suction seal, I want you to make a deep guttural moan or hum from the back of your throat, like mmm, mmm. Now this does 2 things. First, physically, it sends a vibration through your lips and tongue directly into her clitoris, and it mimics the sensation of a vibrator, adding a whole new layer of sensation and stimulation. But second, and this is super important, it acts as reassurance. Women can often feel self-conscious receiving oral sex. They worry, is he enjoying this? Is it taking too long? Does it smell okay? Does my taste turn him on? And when she hears you moaning, she, feels that vibration. Her brain gets a signal, he's loving this. And she stops worrying and starts surrendering. She relaxes into the pleasure because she knows you're right there with her. So you have the clock to build the tension, you have the apple to create the suction, and you have the hum to add the vibration. Physically, that's the perfect storm. But as perfect as that technique is, many guys still fail to make her truly actually let go. And it's not because your oral technique is wrong, it's because your head is in the wrong place. Let's be honest about what's usually happening in your mind when you're down there. You're performing the technique, but internally you're checking your watch. You're thinking, is this working? Is she getting close yet? My jaw's starting to hurt, or I hope she finishes soon so I can feel like a stud. You're goal orientated. You're treating her pleasure like a task on a checklist that you need to complete so that you can feel good about yourself. And here's what you need to understand. She can feel that. Women are incredibly intuitive. If you're anxious, if you're rushing, if you're waiting for her to orgasm so you can validate your ego, she feels it as pressure. It feels like you're tapping your foot, waiting for her to hurry up. And nothing shuts down a woman's pleasure faster than the feeling of expectation. As long as you're in your head trying to extract an orgasm from her, she cannot surrender. She stays in her head too, worrying if she's taking too long. So how do we fix this? You have to stop acting like a technician and start moving from the masculine energy of passion. You have to shift your energy from getting a result to worshiping the experience. And I know worship sounds like a heavy word, but stick with me because this is the secret sauce. When you go down there, your goal cannot be to make her come. Your goal must be to get absolutely drunk on the experience of tasting her. You have to love the smell. You have to love the view. You have to love the sounds that she makes. You have to be so lost in the pleasure of pleasing her that you literally do not care if she finishes or not. And paradoxically, the moment you stop caring about the result is the exact moment she feels safe enough to give it to you. Because the pressure is gone, the clock is gone. It's just you, her in the moment. And that's when the walls come down. So how do you actually embody that energy? How do you, switch off the anxious nice guy brain and turn on the passionate lover energy? It comes down to 3 specific things that you need to focus on. First, you need the masculine energy of discipline. Now, when most guys hear discipline, they think it means working harder or grinding it out. But in the bedroom, discipline means the exact opposite. It is the discipline to be still. It takes massive internal discipline to drop out of your racing mind, ignore the anxiety that says hurry up, and just stop. When you're down there, I want you to physically drop your shoulders, slow your breath way down, stop fidgeting, and become the unshakable mountain. When you embody this stillness, she feels safe. She realizes you aren't rushing her. You're not fragile. You're holding the container. And because you are disciplined enough to hold your center, she feels safe enough to lose hers. Second, you need the energy of connection. Remember that vibration hack that we just talked about, the humming? That is not just a physical trick. It's a communication tool. When you moan, when you look up and make eye contact, you're activating connection energy. You're telling her without words, I love this. I love you. Most guys go down there and they hide. They treat it like they're working under the hood of a car. Don't hide. Connect with her. When she sees you enjoying this in your eyes, she feels seen. She feels validated. And that allows her to relax into her own pleasure because she knows she isn't burdening you with it. Third, and this is a big one, you need the energy of uninhibited desire. This is where you let go of being polite. She needs to feel that you crave her, not because you want a gold star for giving her an orgasm, but because you love the taste of her. She needs to feel that raw primal hunger in you. When you're eating that apple, don't be clinical, be ravenous, be messy, enjoy the juice. That raw desire is what makes her feel stirred. It wakes up her body in a way that polite technique never will. So the next time you go down there, forget the checklist. Bring the discipline to create safety, bring the connection to make her feel seen, and bring the desire to make her feel stirred. When you combine those energies with the clock and the apple technique, you become dangerous in the best possible way. And that level of awareness and embodiment is how you create unforgettable experiences. Now, stimulating a woman's clitoris via oral sex is one of the most consistent ways to give her an orgasm. However, once she has a clitoral orgasm, her clitoris most often becomes incredibly hypersensitive. So it's not likely that you'll be able to stimulate it more to give her multiple orgasms. So if you want to give her multiple orgasms, you need to know how to give her an orgasm via vaginal stimulation, either from G-spot or A-spot stimulation. When you switch to internal stimulation, you bypass that sensitivity so you can keep the pleasure rising without it being painful or uncomfortable. And the awesome thing is that internal G-spot stimulation is the key to unlocking the most intense release she can possibly experience, a squirting orgasm. Now, I have a free educational training over on my blog that shows you exactly how to stimulate her G-spot and even how to give her a squirting orgasm. It's the perfect technique to use after oral sex, or actually you can combine that technique with the oral techniques we just talked about and you'll really blow her mind. And you can grab that video over at jasonjulius.com. I'll put a link in the description, so be sure to check that out. And hey, if you got any value from this video, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. It really helps out the channel, helps it reach more men that need to hear this message. Make sure that you're subscribed because we have a lot more coming up on how to master your energy and your bedroom life. And leave me a comment below if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.